Hello everyone, my name is Ifeanyi and I'm a business coach and entrepreneur. And we're here to talk about making wealth in the coming year, which is 2024. This video applies to everyone that is interested in financial upliftment and moving themselves from the present situation to a brighter and better future. In my videos, I'm going to talk about active and actualized steps on how you can actually achieve your goals and targets. We're going to discuss the wealth triangle in this particular video. We're going to discuss and focus on a lesson from a very important book that I myself have come to respect over the years because it gives absolute wisdom, regardless of what you believe in. The most important thing is to focus on the story. We're also going to discuss key pointers in that story that we can apply in our life today, and then prep ourselves for other videos that to come, as this is actually my first video. Yes, I have successfully established and run several businesses, and I've also failed in a lot of them. So I'm here now to share my do's and don'ts basically in business and in wealth creation. So let's get right into it. There's a common mistake made by people these days, especially the youths. I'm going to call the youths anyone from 45 to 20 because I believe that that's the most ambitious time of your life. After 45, you should have established yourself to a point where the business or your ambition, career, should be able to run themselves. Which is important to note that everyone can't be an entrepreneur. So we have the entrepreneurs and we have the intrapreneurs. It's important to note that if you are an entrepreneur functioning as an intrapreneur, you have missed your calling. And if you're an intrapreneur functioning as an entrepreneur, you missed your calling. Regardless of where you find yourself, you must realize that you are self-employed. Whether you are working for someone and helping the person establish his business, or you are running a business and leading others while you establish your business, you are self-employed. The self-employed mindset is very important in whatever it is you do. If you don't have the approach of self-employment in any business or in any sphere you find yourself, you will never succeed. You have to ask yourself an important question in any sphere you find yourself. What am I becoming by being here? So you're working in the bank as a marketer. I worked in the bank as a marketer. I worked in Fidelity Bank. It was a very good training ground for me because I had a lot of good people ahead of me and I listened to them. And what helped me while I was there was I asked myself this question: what am I becoming while I'm here? What am I learning? Most of us focus on the salaries. Maybe it's mediocre, it's minute. It's not something that I would like to go home with. I was being paid 30,000 or 40,000 then. But what are you becoming? What are you going to take away from this place that will make you become the man or woman that you intend to become in the future? Very important. So keynote, we must all function as self-employed individual, regardless of the sphere we find ourselves. Now, let's dive right into the matter at hand. We all have goals. For you to have decided to click on this link today and watch this video, of course, do subscribe. It is quite important. You have made up your mind that you need to be successful. And let's clap for you for that. It's not an easy step. The question is this: what are your goals and ambitions in life, and how do you intend to achieve them? Are they mere dreams or wishes? Do you just say, I wish I had ₦1 million? Let's make it better. I wish I had 100 million naira. Is that something you could wish for? Making statements like that is like wishing that you had muscles. Let's use muscles. You want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando, we know him. Making statements like that is like saying, I wish I had muscles like Commando, without actually putting in the work. It simply doesn't make sense. So we need to stop making wishes. It's okay to dream, but don't make wishes. make plans. Don't make wishes, make plans. So the first question you're going to ask yourself is, what is my goal? And what plan do I have to achieve this goal? It's an important question. Don't forget, we have a backstory coming up, but we're getting to the backstory. So what is my goal and how do I intend to achieve this goal? In my coming years as a businessman, I've realized that a bad plan is better than no plan. Write it down. A bad plan is better than no plan. And don't be like me when I was a little bit younger in business. I never wrote down my plans or my goals actually. I just kept on moving. Try to write down your goals so that you could know when you have achieved any height and commend yourself for achieving those heights, because I assure you, they're not easy. This is just a summary of what we're going to learn in the entire part series that I'm trying to prepare. I'm going to expose your mind to what you already know but is dormant, because I know that a lot of us are hustlers. We're hustling out there. It's not easy. It's dormant within you, but I'm going to expose your mind to it. And then we're also going to learn a lot. We're going to introduce a new concept called the wealth triangle. We have your character, we have health, and we have self-improvement. Now, for everyone aspiring to become wealthy, at least if you've touched the million, which is 6 figures, you intend to touch maybe 7 figures, or you want to advance from 7 figures to 8 figures, or you're in 5 figures trying to get to 6 figures, it matters not. You have to develop this triangle and let it connect in your life. Some of us might say, I never went through the wealth triangle, but I'm successful. Our minds will be exposed right now to the fact that you did. You had them in you. Now you need to identify them and stick to them, to these concepts rather, consciously developing these concepts. Character, health, and self-development in order to keep it so. Making wealth is just as difficult as keeping wealth. Always remember that, because everyone watching this video would and will be successful as long as we stick to the principles that we're about to discuss. I'm sure everyone watching this video is smart, very smart. There's a problem with being smart. I am very smart. And while I was younger, when I was 20, I had so many ideas and so many options. I could do a lot of things. I could go into marketing because I am a very good salesman. I want to learn how to develop a program. I want to start a business. I also went to work to see if I could get some form of mentorship. I was confused, running around in circles. I likened myself to a donkey that had 15 minutes to eat. And when he was brought out of his cage, he was placed, what was placed right in front of him were corn and wheat. He became confused and stared at corn and wheat for 15 minutes and was put back in his cage with an empty stomach. Many of us are like this, and like me back in the days. We have 10 things that we can do, so we focus on 10 of them and keep on hitting on each one without actually achieving anything. You need to stop that. You're smart, but your smartness is hindering you from progress. You need to focus on one thing. Write it down. Focus on one thing. Focus on one thing and I'll watch it grow before you diversify. This concept applies to your relationships. Focus on one woman, leave the 10 alone. The idea of focusing means you have to burn off 10 of your other options and take the risks on one and tweak it to become better till you achieve what you need to achieve and you are known for what you're doing. People want to talk to people that they are sure know what they're talking about. You don't want to talk to a farmer about accounting. But a man that doesn't identify, and you don't want to talk to an accountant about planting crops. A man that doesn't identify himself as a farmer, what do? I can farm, I'm an accountant. What do? I can farm and I'm an accountant. I'm also a mason. I drive an Uber. You are nowhere, but you're everywhere. But if they ask you, what do you do? I'm a farmer. They say, really? What do you plant? Okay, I plant cocoa, I plant yam. You see, that is beautiful. That's okay. What are you? I'm a salesman. Really? What can you sell? I can sell anything. I can sell your clothes. I can sell. That is okay. Focus on something and grow on that thing. It makes life easier for you and makes achieving your target in the next year, 2024, or subsequent years, a lot easier. It is important that you try to develop these skills that I'm mentioning right now. One of them right now is focus. In the coming year, in order to become different from what you are right now, because you're watching this video right now because you're not satisfied with what you are. I am not satisfied with what I am, and I'm the one teaching you. So I try my best to become better every day, in every way. You should try your best to become better in every way, every day. And it has to be a conscious effort. You can't wish your way into wealth or success. If that was the case, everybody would wish their way into it. The difference between an unsuccessful man and a successful man is focus. Focus is the key. All right, we're going to pick up the story I was talking about. There's a good book that talked about sower and how he reaped from sowing. The story goes like this. A man had seeds and he spread those seeds. And those seeds, some fell on the path, some fell on the rocky soil, others fell into thorns, and some fell into good soil. And at the end, he was able to reap from those that fell into good soil 100 times more. Good. So we're going to focus on that story and use that to buttress what it is we're trying to do. Now, you have identified what you want to do. So in other words, you have gotten your seed. No farmer plants seeds that are bad. So you have said, I want to be a salesman. I want to be an accountant. I want to be a banker. I want to sell electronics. I want to go into animal husbandry. You have identified your seed, right? That is the first step. So you now need to plant your seed. If you haven't identified your seed, you cannot move to the next stage. So you need to identify your seed. You've identified your seed right now. That's what that particular story was talking about. The sower now decided to spread. So while he spread his seed, some fell on the path and the birds picked them. So you need to remember this keynote. The birds are always going to pick them. Some will be gotten by the birds. And what are the birds in your life? Disappointments. You set up a meeting with someone as regards a project. I set up a meeting with a lot of people as regards my projects. When I was trying to employ staff, when you're trying to employ staff in your business is when you realize that employment is not as easy as it seems. Because a lot of people are not focused. They get distracted by little things. I set up meetings with them and many of them don't show up, wasting my valuable time. Because then I didn't have the resources to employ a proper team like the HR department to administer these processes. So I was administering the process myself. I started from the ground and built myself up. They wouldn't show up. They wasted my time. But you need to understand that those opportunities that the birds pick up are not your fault. There's really not much you can do about it. You have to let it go. The fact is that you have your good seed. So you have to keep on planting. We need to understand something as well about the sower in the story. He was ambitious. You were ambitious. He wanted to succeed. So he kept on planting. That's what the story said. He spread some of the seeds again and they fell on the thorny sides. And while they started growing, they were choked and they died. This can also be likened to a business that you see that is growing, but economic factors have taken them down. Different policies, especially in my country, could bring you down in seconds. It is not your fault. You have done everything you needed to do. You have selected your good seed. You can't kill yourself. You need to understand that some will be taken down by the thorns. There's really nothing you can do about it. What you need to do at that point is you need to keep on sowing. The moment you give up, you have messed up. You cannot give up. The moment you give up, you have messed up. It is a very difficult thing to do. what I'm saying right now. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But I'm telling you right now, watching this video, that you cannot give up. Because if you do, you have messed up. The sower kept on sowing and spread some on the rocky soil, and that soil looked fertile. Now that is the most dangerous one. You've established a business, or you are working in a particular company and you believe that this is the company that's going to take you to the career height that you need to. So you put in your feet and sinking, and it looks very fertile, and after some time it grows and then it dies. Meaning, the place doesn't meet your expectation, or the business itself is not giving you the returns that you expect. It's okay. You planted good seed. You planted your good seed. It is not your fault as well. You need to keep on sowing. Now, what do we mean by you need to keep on sowing? Because we say you need to keep on sowing. For someone in the business world, you need to keep on gathering skills. An intrapreneur, that is someone working, helping a career, a business grow up, becoming a conglomerate. You need to keep on gathering skills. As a business owner, you need to keep gathering skills, experience. You need to be talking to people better than you. You need to keep on sowing and planting that good seed. Of course, there is nothing wrong with genetically modifying your seeds if the seeds are not doing as much as you want to. But you have focused yourself and said, I want to be good in sales. How? Your initial process wasn't working, you genetically modify it. There's nothing wrong with that, but you focus yourself. Focus is very important. Focus is very important, because there is nothing that won't give money. There was a statement that the president said I had, shit business is good business. Meaning he was making money from shit. There's nothing that won't give you money. Depends on how you focus on it and how you apply it to meet the needs of people. Value is what we are creating. So the sower kept on sowing. Then he spread it and it landed on good soil. There's a point I want us to note here. It will always land on good soil. You cannot but help it. It must land on good soil as long as you keep on sowing. So the sower kept on sowing, and it landed on good soil, and there was harvest. And that book said 100 times more than he has sown. Meaning all those he lost to the birds, those he lost to the thorny ground, those he lost on the rocky ground, he made 100 times more. It's the law of averages, basically, and that's how business works, or life generally. You will always make more than you lose. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not saying that we should go and take uncalculated risks and say that if I, Yellow Frown, decided that, and told you that rather, you will make more than you lose. So let me just take risks. That's not what we are saying here. Don't take uncalculated risks. Study is what is said to show yourself approved. So you study what you want to go into. Make the research, take out time, and know what it is you're trying to do, and then rely on instinct. There are a lot of things coming up. We're going to work on all that, but the point is this: it will land on good soil, and when it does, you will yield. So in the coming videos, I'm going to now talk about what happens when your produce lands on good soils and the process of your produce landing on good soil. Because now we've said it sounds easy. You just spread your seeds and lands on good soils. Life is not difficult. What is difficult for you isn't difficult for me. My process is different from your process. We go into the same business. I spread my seeds, and the first soil lands on is good soil. Another person spreads his seeds, and it keeps on being picked up by birds. But you need to know that the birds are not enough. Eventually, your seeds will be more than theirs. So if you see that someone else's seeds lands on good soil, you can't stay and start comparing yourself and saying, we started at the same time. I threw my seeds. It landed on, birds have been picking it, but this man over here or lady over here, seeds have landed on good soil. You will not succeed this way. Focus on your path. It's an individual race. There's nobody, you're not competing with anyone. You just have your goal. Focus on your goal, and at the end, so you can get your crown. Alright, so in our next video, we're going to talk about your good seeds landing on good soil and the process to secure your produce after your seeds have landed on good soil. Before we now get into the triangle, because the triangle is comprehensive. Don't forget it's character, health, and self-development. These processes are important if you intend to make money in 2024 or in subsequent years. For without change, it is impossible to grow. You cannot grow without change. And change comes from focus. So right now, we are trying to help ourselves focus so that we can change, then grow. There is no other way to become who you want to become. If you are a successful person already and you believe that you have arrived, then you are the worst enemy to yourself, because complacency is very dangerous. You have to continue changing, because the world itself is changing. The way we are now is not the way it was 10 years ago. Our business strategies and approach to life isn't the same thing it was when our parents were trying to do their businesses as well. So you have to constantly change. Focus on your goal and constantly adjust yourself into it. It's a process to success. I'm glad that I was able to share this with you, and I will share a lot more in my subsequent videos. Subscribe, click on the like button, and follow me. Thank you very much.